Welcome back to Music Mind, the podcast where we unravel the mysteries of music. Today we're going to be uncovering voice leading, the secret to smooth music. I'm your host, and with me today is our ever-curious student.
Hey, teacher. Today's topic sounds a bit technical. Voice leading. Is this like how singers find their notes?
That's a great question, student, and you're actually closer than you think. While it does help singers, voice leading is a fundamental concept for all musicians, no matter what instrument you play. And here's the cool part. We're going to talk about this secret to smooth music without playing a single note today, just using words to paint the picture.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So, what exactly is voice leading?
Imagine you're listening to a piece of music, say a beautiful song or a complex orchestral piece. You hear chords, right? But those chords aren't just big static blocks of sound. They're actually made up of individual melody lines, all moving at the same time. Think of it like a conversation happening between several people in a room.
So, each person is a voice.
Exactly. And voice leading is simply the art and skill of making sure each of those individual voices moves smoothly and logically from one chord to the next. It's about how those different melodic lines connect and flow. When it's done well, the music sounds effortless, connected, and incredibly smooth.
So if it's done badly,
If it's done badly, it can sound jarring, choppy, or even a bit chaotic. Imagine our conversation in the room. If everyone suddenly jumped to completely unrelated topics without any smooth transitions, it would feel awkward and disconnected. That's what bad voice leading can sound like.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it. It's about smooth transitions for each individual part, not just the whole chord changing.
You've got it. And the main goal of good voice leading is efficiency. Think about walking from one room to another. You usually take small, easy steps, right? You don't jump over the furniture or run through walls unless you're trying to make a dramatic point.
right, small steps are natural.
Precisely. So, one of the biggest principles in voice leading is to aim for the smallest possible movement for each voice. This has two main parts. First, common tones. If a note is in the chord you're playing and it's also in the very next chord, that voice often just stays on that same note. It doesn't move at all. It's like one person in our conversation just repeating their point because it's still perfectly relevant to the next topic. It creates a seamless connection.
So, if a C major chord goes to an F major chord, the C note that's in both just stays put?
You've picked up on it perfectly. And the second part of small movement is stepwise motion. If a voice has to move to a new note in the next chord, it prefers to move by the smallest step possible, like going from a C to a D or a G down to an F. Again, small steps are smooth.
So if a voice can't stay still, it tries to move as little as possible. That makes sense.
Exactly. Now, another important idea is opposite motion. Imagine a seesaw. When one side goes up, the other goes down to keep things balanced. In music, when some of your voices are moving upwards, it's often good voice leading for other voices to move downwards. This prevents all the voices from clumping together or sounding too predictable if they're all moving in the same direction. It creates a fuller, more balanced sound.
A kind of musical counterbalance.
Exactly. And finally, let's talk about a big one in traditional music, avoiding parallel fifths and octaves. This is a rule that might sound strange at first. It means if two of your voices are playing notes that are a perfect fifth apart, like a C and the G above it, they shouldn't then both move up or down together to new notes, still staying a perfect fifth apart. The same goes for octaves.
Why is that a problem?
That's an excellent question, and it's one of the most famous rules in traditional voice leading. Imagine you have two voices singing or playing, one on a C and the other on the G above it. That's a perfect fifth apart. Now, if they both move up together to a D and an A, still staying a perfect fifth apart, that's parallel fifths. The same applies if they're an octave apart.
So they're kind of moving in lockstep?
Exactly. And the reason traditional theory tries to avoid this is because it makes the music sound a bit thin or empty. Instead of hearing two distinct, independent melody lines moving together to create a rich chord, your ear actually tends to merge them into one less interesting sound. It's almost like one voice is just shadowing the other, and you lose that sense of each voice contributing its own unique part to the musical conversation.
Ah, so you want each voice to feel important on its own, even though they're part of the same chord.
Precisely. You want the independence of each line to contribute to the overall richness. It's also why sometimes parallel octaves can sound a bit bland. It's just one voice doubling another, not adding a new melodic idea. In modern music, sometimes composers break this rule for a specific effect, but understanding why it was a rule in the first place helps you appreciate the texture.
So, to recap, small steps for individual voices, common tones staying put, sometimes voices move in opposite directions, and generally avoid those parallel fifths and octaves.
You've got the core principles down perfectly. There's one more important aspect, especially when dealing with notes that sound a bit tense or unstable in a chord. We call these dissonances.
Like a note that feels like it needs to go somewhere?
Exactly. Think of it like a musical question that needs an answer or tension that needs release. Good voice leading ensures that these dissonant notes resolve smoothly to a more resolved or relaxed note in the very next chord. It's usually by a small step, either up or down. This controlled resolution is how music creates forward motion and emotional satisfaction for the listener.
So it's all about making the music flow nicely, sound balanced, and guide the listener's ear without any sudden, awkward surprises.
That's the essence of it. Voice leading is truly a secret language that composers and improvisers use to make their music sound coherent, smooth, and emotionally compelling. It's less about memorizing strict rules and more about understanding the principles of efficiency, logical movement, and how individual lines contribute to the whole.
So, even though we didn't play any music, I feel like I have a much better idea of what to listen for now. And when I'm practicing my piano or guitar, I can start thinking about how each note in my chords is actually moving to the next.
That's exactly the goal. Next time you listen to a favorite piece, or even when you're just practicing a simple chord progression, try to hear those individual voices. Are they moving smoothly? Are some staying put? Are they balancing each other out? The more you listen for it, the more you'll appreciate the artistry of voice leading, the secret to smooth music.
This was really eye-opening. Thanks, teacher.
My pleasure, student. And thank you for joining us on Music Mind. Until next time, keep listening, keep exploring, and keep making music.